Okay, so today we're going to show you guys how to migrate your WordPress from wherever it's living into a Bitnami stack. Now, Bitnami, for those of you who do not know what that is, just go to this website and click what is Bitnami. Now, the reason we want to migrate to Bitnami is so that we can host our WordPress on Google Cloud Platform or Amazon's Cloud Platform, which is a lot cheaper than the usual way, like say GoDaddy. So we're working off of a Mac OS X, so we're going to download the installer for that. Okay, so now that it's downloaded, we're just going to install it. You want to remember this password because you're going to need it to log into phpMyAdmin. Okay, so now that we have the Bitnami WordPress stack installed, we have Apache, MySQL, WordPress, and Varnish in there. Click Go to Application. You can see it in the browser. All right, this is the main page for your Bitnami stack, and then if you go to WordPress, you'll see the default WordPress that was generated for you. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the application folder right here, and at this point in apps, this is where our WordPress lives, the WordPress I just showed you. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new directory for the WordPress that we're trying to migrate over. So I'll just call it My WordPress. Okay. And at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take our entire WordPress application, which we grabbed off wherever it was living. Now we're going to rename this folder. Okay. Now we're going to rename this folder Htaccess, which, if any of you are familiar with Apache, is where Apache will go to look for your application. Now, next we need the configuration files for Apache. So we're going to grab them off that default WordPress that was generated for us by Bitnami. And so here I'm going to copy everything except for Htaccess, which we already have. And then just paste it into that WordPress, My WordPress folder. So now we need to update these configuration files because all we did was copy them over. Now, set them up in your favorite text editor. So let's start off with Htaccess. So everywhere we see this path where it says apps WordPress / Htaccess, we need to change that to My WordPress. And this will just point these config files to the right directory. Okay, so all these files are saved. So next we're gonna go into the Htaccess folder where your application is, and we're gonna pull up wp-config. And this should be the only file you need to update within the actual application folder. So what we're interested in changing here are these values, and where we're going to get what we need for those values is from that original WordPress. We're going to pull up its config.php, and we're going to copy over the DB host, DB password, and DB user. So here's what I'm taking out. Here's what I'm putting in. Also in this file, we need to go to the bottom and actually copy and paste something that's not even in here. So here we're going to need to grab these two lines and copy and paste them over. Now change these to my WordPress and save. So next we gotta go back to the original Bitnami folder and then configure one of the Apache files. So Apache 2 conf configuration Bitnami and Bitnami apps prefix. That's what we're looking for. So in here we're going to copy and paste the first includes line. We're just going to replace WordPress with my WordPress and save. So now we open up our console from before and we manage servers, and we're just going to restart the server. Now we go to the browser and let's see if we can access my WordPress. So now we get this ominous message saying that we cannot connect to the database, and this is because we did not create that database. So now we're going to go to PHP myadmin and we're going to sign into user root and then that password that we were asked for during the installation. So here we're going to create that new database that we need. We're going to click new, and then in this text box we're going to go to that WP config folder that we had, and we're going to grab the database name and put that into the text box. Click create, and our database is created. So next we're going to click on that database, and we're going to go to the import option, and we're going to go to choose file and find our database dump. If you're not sure how to get your own database dumped, okay, so all these options are good, and we're going to go import that database. So that's every post, every piece of data that we had in our old application. Now the last thing we have to do is click this home button, and we're going to go to users, look for our default Bitnami WordPress user here, click edit privileges, at the top click database, and here we're going to add our new database and give this user some permissions, some privileges. Unclick grant. There you go. Now we're going to go back to our browser, refresh it, and cross our fingers. And there we go. So that's how you migrate your WordPress from wherever it was into a Bitnami stack that you can use locally and then later deploy onto the cloud. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful.